Now I want to do one more video today. Now we're going to deal with the Devil's Comet, as they call it. This also will be seen by the naked eye, on April 8th during the total solar eclipse as it's going around the sun. Now this is very interesting. You do not want to click off of this. Don't be tempted to leave. You got to hear this. Because there's more about this Devil's Comet. They call it the Devil's Comet because it seems to have two horns, so they equate that with the devil. But this book right here says a little something different. But the first thing I want to bring out about this Devil's Comet that will be seen with the naked eye while the eclipse is happening, because it's going around the sun at that time, this comet will be closest to Earth on, I believe he said, April 21st. Don't quote me on that, but that's not what's important. I watched a video on this, and this is what you need to see. This eclipse, or excuse me, this comet has some strange explosions, which seems to be what this book in Daniel chapter 8 is saying. It exploded and became, according to what they said, the scientists, 7,000 times brighter as it exploded the first time on July 20th, 2023. But it exploded again, like forming two big horns, the second time on October 5th, 2023. 2 days before the proxies of Iran, Hamas, attacked so-called Israel on October 7th. We say, why is that important? Well, this comet has a 70, some say 70, some say 71 years, so I get confused over which one it is. But nevertheless, it was first discovered by the naked eye in 1812. You say, why is that significant? Because of the New Madrid earthquake, where they said the Mississippi River even ran backwards that day. And the Devil's Comet was discovered on the day of that earthquake in 1812. Well, the Devil's Comet will be seen by the naked eye again in 2024 on April 8th. And the path of this eclipse is directly over the New Madrid fault line. I'm not telling you the earthquake is happening. I'm just giving you symbology, food to think of. But this is what I want you to think of in regards to this comet. In reference to the Middle East war and U.S. provoking Iran into war. Take a look. Daniel 8:2, and I saw in a vision, and it came to pass which I saw, that I was at Shushan in the palace, which is in the province of Elam. Everybody knows, beyond the shadow of a doubt, that's Iran. And I saw in a vision, and I was by the river Ulai. Now notice what it says in verse 3. Then I lifted up mine eyes and saw, and behold, there stood before the river a ram which had two horns, like the Devil's Comet, they're calling it. Right? And the two horns were high. That's exactly what they're saying about this comet. That's exactly what they're saying. But one was higher than the other, and the higher came up last. According to what I saw, there were two explosions on this comet. One came up last. I believe the same exact pattern is taking place here by sign. It doesn't mean Iran's going to attack on this day or be attacked or whatever's going to come out of this. I'm just telling you the signs are all there. So we have all of these dates. At this April 8th, especially this day, I haven't gotten into the fullness of that. Because there's a war going on. Nobody wants me to speak on this one. I'm getting fought against. But also there's this Devil's Comet which points to Iran. All at the same time. And Amos is saying the United States is going to fall along with the Western European nations. I want to skip down, and that's all I'm going to go over. This is just food for thought. You read it for yourself, and we'll figure out the rest as we go along. But the United States is also in reference to this Lamb in the last days shown. Verse 5. And as I was considering, behold, a he-goat came from the west. That's the U.S. on the face of the whole earth. Is not the United States and everywhere on earth, bases everywhere, and we're acting as the world policeman. That's us. We're the country of the West that's doing this, from the West. Well, Daniel obviously knew. Man, was he right on the money. And notice, and touched not the ground. What does the U.S. do? Bomb them. Airplanes, missiles, touch not the ground. That's the U.S.'s number one avenue of war. Missiles, jets, bombs. That's Daniel is telling us. Now this is what I think we are yet to see. And the goat had a notable, which means conspicuous, as written here, horn between his eyes. And he came to the ram that had two horns, Iran, and those two horns, it could, who knows what it could be. So far it's looking like Syria and Lebanon. But don't quote me on this. We got to see this thing play out. But it's pointing right to that. Which I had seen standing before the river, and ran unto him in the fury of his power. And it goes on, and it seems to show a great war going on. And yes, we already know the U.S. and Iran is going to get into it, which might be the very thing that precipitates Amos saying they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and the famine of preaching is coming along with it, which causes Russia, Ukraine to go at it, and Russia to destroy 3 ribs, because it says the bear, elsewhere in Daniel, we all know this is the Russian bear. Come on, let's not argue about that. It has 3 ribs in its mouth between its teeth, and it says, arise and devour much flesh. Which 3 countries is Russia going to overthrow? Well, I've heard the theory, and I agree. Germany, Finland, and Sweden, or Poland. All these countries looks like slivers. The country is shaped geographically, looks like ribs, so it could be any of those. That's a good theory, but we're going to have to see that play out. But we're seeing it started because these are the countries that are pushing against Russia. So while the Iran, Israel, Lebanon, U.S., and everybody's attacking, we also see Taiwan and China, Russia and Europe, and then, right here, this is going to be destroyed. So I thought I'd bring that up. That's one more piece of this eclipse. Keeping these videos short as to convenience you, to help you out, but you got to watch them all the way to get all the facts. But I still got to go over more. We have to learn the calendar, and we got to learn the big tamale that I know most are going to hate me, they're going to hate me over it. Over what he means by I will rise on the 3rd day. Till we get that one straight, and you can't get it straight without the calendar. It's impossible. What he meant by 3 days, because that 3 days is right here, this little pink dot. This day, April 8th. All right, enough for now.